I'd like to start by saying something about the basic idea of when you start one of these companies, how you go about creating value. And there's this question: what makes a business valuable? And I want to suggest that there's basically a very simple formula that you have a valuable company if two things are true. Number one, that it creates X dollars of value for the world, and number two, that you capture Y% of X. And the critical thing that I think people always miss in this sort of analysis is that X and Y are completely independent variables. And so X can be very big, Y can be very small, X can be of intermediate size, and if Y is reasonably big, you can still get a very big business. So to create a valuable company, you have to basically both create something of value and capture some fraction of the value of what you've created. And sort of just to illustrate this as a contrast, if you sort of compare the U.S. airline industry with a company like Google on search, if you sort of measure by the size of these industries, you could say that airlines are still more important than search. If you just measure it, say, by revenues, it was 195 billion in domestic revenues in 2012. Google had just north of 50 billion, and certainly, sort of on some intuitive level, if you were given a choice and said, well, do you want to get rid of all air travel, or do you want to get rid of your ability to use search engines? The intuition would be that air travel is something that's more important than search. And this is, of course, just the domestic numbers. If you looked at this globally, airlines are much, much bigger than search or than Google is. But the profit margins are quite a bit less. They were marginally profitable in 2012. I think the entire 100-year history of the airline industry, the cumulative profits in the U.S. have been approximately zero. Companies make money, they episodically go bankrupt, they get recapitalized, and you sort of cycle and repeat. And this is reflected in the combined market capitalization of the airline industries, maybe something of the U.S. airline industry, something like a quarter that of Google. So you have a search engine much smaller than air travel, but much more valuable. And I think this reflects these very different valuations on X and Y.